So in the spiritual journey, it is said that we end up where we started. Except there is a big difference. Although seemingly we don't take any step from here to there, and yet in the Zen tradition, there are many koans with the teachers there is one koan that goes, the student asks the master, please, can you share with me the highest teaching? And the master replies, what is the price of a pound of tomatoes in the market? I'm sort of editing a little bit the koan. What is the price of beans in the market? In this moment, what's truly lacking? What is the price of tomatoes in the market? It's $1.50. Everybody who goes to the market knows the price of a pound of tomatoes. It's not a hidden mystery. And yet, are we content? if you understand this koan, you are the student and the teacher as one. I remember when Ramana Maharshi was passing, some of his students in despair told him, please don't go, stay with us. And he replied, where would I go? Where would I go? Where am I right now? What am I right now? Am I the movement on the surface of the ocean? Am I this bundle of sensations? Or am I in complete absence of narrative? Am I the space between one narrative and the next narrative? Or am I a continual stream of narratives? What is it that makes no sound? There is not a sound. Not a perception. Or are we a series of sounds and perceptions? the eye of the storm. At the eye of the storm, there is no storm. Do we need to carry around our personhood? Are we defined by our storyline? Take a look. Does any storyline define you, truly define you? Which storyline are you going to pick? There are so many of them. Master, please share with me your highest teaching. And the answer is, what is the price of a pound of tomatoes in the market? Today, I chose as a topic being upset by the world. Being upset. Is the ocean upset by the waves? Does the wave have any separate reality from the ocean, from water? Sometimes we see the world appearing in a certain way to us, and we disagree. The way the world is appearing doesn't fit our ideas about how things should be. We may have such a certainty or passion about our point of view, but somehow the world isn't sharing our great wisdom. our perception, our view. The world somehow isn't feeling the way we are feeling. But what is the world if not your very self? Do you ever experience a world out there that's apart from your reality? Where from did you get this great certainty about how things should be? We all know the mind is conditioned, depending on the culture, past history, family, religious indoctrination. We all know that the mind is just a programmable, programmed instrument. What makes us so certain that my program is it? So we get so engaged in trying to fix the many programs out there, trying to change people's minds, make them congruent with our correct point of view. And the others are doing the same. We're not alone being the Almighty. The others are also, they also feel almighty. They feel they have a right to be as almighty as we are. This is how we really want to live. Maybe we do. Obviously we do. If you look around you in the world, so many parties, so many conflicts, so many opinions. But do I want to live that way? Do I want to feed the current of sorrow? In order to maintain what? To maintain myself, my correctness, my greatness, my what? Illusion. The life of illusion.
Right. Do you think go toe to toe. I give out frostbite with the coldest blow. Pull off his sock and I suck his toes. I be sucking.
Can we see how limited the mind is? That which understands the limitations of the mind what is that? That which understands. Sometimes it is said that it is God's understanding which shines through our mind. It is not a personal understanding, but a universal understanding that shines through this mind. When the mind is invited to relax, how do we do that? How do we live with this busy mind? Well, we keep the doors and windows open.
In my throat. I be sucking dicks till I fucking choke. In 5 years, I'm top 5. I be sucking penis, I slop guys.
We keep the doors and the windows open. Because in fact, there are no doors and no windows. So then what is the problem? Does the wide open sky have an issue with the weather? Is there any issue when a certain thought or sensation arises when we don't make it an issue? We have to take a look, because we're not talking just theoretical talk. You have to see how it applies in your life. What is the significance? of being with whatever arises, but being not knowing. Being not knowing. Was a Zen teacher in the United States, a Korean Zen teacher, San Senim. Whenever some student came to him for a question with a question, he would most often reply, just don't know. Just don't know. Can you get the core of that not knowing, living, being, not knowing, moment by moment? There is a freshness in not knowing. Like when you come to smell a rose, you don't come with a preconceived idea. When you stand in front of a painting, you don't come with any preconceived idea. You're there, freshly, openly. The fragrance, which is not a product of the mind, the inexpressible is expressed in the fragrance, in the beauty, the inexpressible. So in being upset, we're maintaining what? Our desire to be. Our desire to be upset. We're waiting for somebody to lift our upsetness. We're waiting for the world to change, for the neighbor to become a better neighbor, for the neighbor's dog to become a sweet puppy. Is this what we are doing? Blaming our parents, blaming our government. All 7 billion of us blaming each other. I blame you, he blames her, she blames him. When does this come to an ending? But when the stars line up, is this we're waiting for the stars to line up? We're praying to God. Are we just victims? Is this what you are? Subjects, waiting for the Savior. Maybe in fact we are the culprits. Maybe we are loving, blaming. Maybe we love our upset. We love our upset. There is honesty in saying that, yes. I love my upset. I'm not going to let go of my position that the problem is you out there. That's my point of view. I like this point of view. I'm going to hold on to this point of view, and don't even bother trying to convince me otherwise, because I'm not going to change my mind. Okay, there's honesty in that. That's honest. Good. Okay. It's my choice. Problem is out there. It's my mom. It's my government. It's whatever. Okay, fine. I choose to stand. I choose this position. And so I play the game of tug of war, you know, the tug of war. On one side, here I am pulling at the rope really, really hard. And on the other side, here I am holding onto the rope, pulling really, really hard. Tug of war. Me and myself. Good. It's okay. I can do that. You know, in some cultures, they whip themselves. They whip, you know, they choose to whip themselves to lacerate their body. They choose to suffer that way. They want to feel the pain, like I think, like they say, Jesus felt the pain, so they want to feel the pain this way. Okay, there's a freedom in that. That doesn't make you right above others who choose not to. It doesn't. There is this story of this fellow who meets a spiritual teacher and tells him, "Teacher, I spent all my life giving money to the church, to the poor, to the helped build the roads and built homes. I've done so many things to help others in my life. Of what value is that for me to enter the gates of paradise?" And the teacher said, "None whatsoever. None whatsoever." Can you imagine? I mean, I lived my whole life, you know, so certain, you know, doing good is this very generous, loving, helping, which is wonderful. Made a lot of people happy. What value is it to enter the gates of heaven? And the teacher said, "None whatsoever." And an edited version of this story is that the teacher says, "One glimpse into truth, one glimpse into true nature surpasses all the bountiful actions that you've done your whole life." One glimpse. Okay, so if we have any questions, please make sure to unmute your mic and we can have a conversation together.
Hi, Magic. This is Anna.
Hello, hello, Anna.
So happy I can be here.
Yes.
Is this what you said, walking with God?
Whenever you contemplate truth, you contemplate reality, you contemplate God, you are walking with God. And whenever your attention is onto the world, onto the body, onto the mind, you are looking, you're interested in God's creation, but not in walking with God. And whenever you are perceiving through the belief that I am a person, that I am a man, that I am a woman, that I am a limited personal self, you are walking away from God.
Thank you. One more question. Thank you for what you said. This is what I really try so hard, and I shouldn't, because that's my true nature. It's just the practice of attention that it's gonna keep me out of the traps of the separate self.
Attention, it depends, what is the direction of your attention. So when attention is directed to the source, then that's the direction towards understanding. So yes, it is a direction, but directed towards a source. When we direct our attention towards the source, towards reality, we slowly, maybe, realize the true meaning of love, the true significance of love. Because in reality, there is no separation. And in love, there is no separation.
Magdi, this is Fernando.
Yes, hola Fernando, yes.
You said something like, what is the world if not your very self? It is not apart from what you are, or something like this. In other words, can we understand the world as a projection of our personal self, or can you talk about this
Yes.
topic a little bit more, please?
Mm-hmm. So in our experience, when we take a look at our experience, we come upon the world, meaning perceptions. We come upon the body, meaning mostly sensations. And we come upon the mind, mostly thoughts, images, creative thinking, visualizations, etc. And we also come upon the reality of consciousness, awareness, beingness. So the world, the body and the mind, perceptions, sensations, and thoughts, images, they are phenomenal, meaning they appear within time and space. They appear and they disappear. They are phenomenal. Awareness, consciousness, reality, which is undeniable, is not non-phenomenal. The relationship, there is a relationship between awareness and the world, for example, with the world being perception. You look at a mountain, you hear the sound of traffic, you hear the birds singing, the world. There's a relationship between awareness and the world. The relationship is that awareness doesn't change, and the world appears and moves. The sound of traffic, sometimes it's very loud, sometimes, at 12 o'clock or maybe in the morning, there is less traffic, whatever. One doesn't move, doesn't come and go, and the other one changing. The other relationship that there is between awareness, consciousness, and the world is that they are at zero distance. For example, right now, there is hearing, yes? Hearing. But the hearing cannot be pulled apart from awareness. It's not like they are two. Or perceiving, for example, right now there is perception. You're perceiving the world. The perception and awareness, you cannot pull them apart. It's not like the world is here and awareness is here. They are at zero distance. So the question is, okay, well, does the world arise? Where does the world arise from? What is the reality of the world? What is the world? We don't know really. It is this disappearance is the world. What we call the world. So that's the world. But what we do know is that there is reality. Even if the world we are perceiving right now, we may be, let's say me and you, we are hypnotized. Let's say we are under a hypnotic state. Under a hypnotic state, we perceive all sorts of perceptions, but they're not quote unquote real because of we are hypnotized. Although the perceptions are illusion, in the hypnotic state, there is a reality that perceives even the hypnotic state. So the question is, what is the world? Again, we don't know, but we do know that there is a reality. And we also know that there is one reality. And not two realities, because if there were two realities, how would you know that there are two realities? Something knows that there are two realities, and that which knows there are two realities is one reality. So that's just a little reasoning, but we know also at an intuitive sense, we have an intuition about reality and about one reality. So without denying the world, why should we deny the world? New York City, Calcutta, Mexico City, no, our parents, we don't deny them. But we come to the understanding that the reality of the world is the reality of consciousness or awareness. So in terms of the question, what is the world? We could say, as a way of speaking, that the world is consciousness. Dancing or painting, creating, yes, creating. A marvelous creation, and it's beyond comprehension. The creation of the heartbeat, the sensation of heat, the sensation of warmth, perception, colors. So in terms of the question about the world, meaning appearance, you can even say physical appearance, why not? And the appearance of non-physical, like mind, thoughts, feelings, memories. Sometimes musicians, they hear a symphony, they hear a symphony that me and you, we don't hear, but and then they write it down as a mind. So we don't deny the world, the body or the mind, but we recognize that the reality is that one reality. A good example of that, because of the night dream, in our night dream, we dream all sorts of images and objects and events, and they seem very real of their own, like as if you may meet somebody in your dream who, you travel with them, you travel with them around the world, you see. It may seem to be very real. The world that you see, the feelings, the emotions that you feel, the conversations that you have with your friend. Upon waking up, we realize that in fact, they were all you, the dreamer. There was no separate reality. Your friend in your dream did not have a reality apart from you, the dreamer. So in the understanding of our true nature, there is first the understanding that perceptions, sensations, thoughts are not separate from I consciousness. There is an intimacy. And then this understanding becomes visceral. It becomes more and more established as your experience. And there comes a point where your world where your body and the world are one body, that your body is the world, and your mind is the universe. So you and the universe or the cosmos are no longer separate. And the previous belief in an external reality is no longer operating. And above all, there is an inner tranquility and a sense of freedom and relaxation, which is different from the previous problem solving, safeguarding, defending. That whole process is somehow no longer operating, is no longer valid.
Thank you.
Okay, Fernando, so nice to see you.
Very nice seeing you again, Magdi.
Yes. Okay. Any questions? Any questions?
Can I ask again, Maggi?
Yes, hello. Yes, please.
Hi, thank you. This moment when this perception, by the practice of not being in any narrative, but pulling yourself to the present, does it happen suddenly or it's in and out and
Yes. You know, understanding is both gradual and sudden. So we do contemplate, reflect about the teaching, we pose questions, we ponder, we read the words of the sages. And all of that because of our interest in truth, and our interest in causeless peace and happiness for all. This love and this passion that we have is operating. It's sort of wherever it finds something that resonates, it likes it. You know, it's sort of attracted towards the truth. It's attracted towards the wisdom. And the mind is affected by our love for truth. It becomes more and more flexible, more and more, even more and more obedient. It becomes more and more supple, you know, more and more. The becomes a medium that is a part of the contemplation, and not just a resistance, not a resistance. It becomes part of the path. And you know how, like, sometimes, you know, maybe you had an issue with somebody in the past in your life, and you didn't like them too much, and after many years you find that, you know, they call you, or somebody talks to you about them, and you're okay. You don't feel the same upsetness with them that you felt many years ago.
Yeah.
But yet you don't know exactly when you changed your
It shifted.
Yeah, you don't know exactly when it shifted. So there's a gradual process a gradual change that happens in our life. And there are moments where we realize, oh, yeah, you know, I don't need to continue to do this. It's sort of,
yes,
get it. But there's been a lot of preparation ahead of time already that brought you to the moment where you say, okay, yeah, I get it. That's not the way. I'm no longer going to play this game. There are times in your life where it's this like sudden clarity. You know, it's as if you didn't do it. It sort of happened onto you. You know, it's like,
yeah,
you know, and yet there is a gradual process that is also, you cannot erase it. It's definitely part of your. Now, there are two main branches in your life where understanding blooms gradually and suddenly. One of them is the scriptures, reading.
yes, I love them.
And understanding and contemplating and meditating onto the scriptures.
Yes, I love that.
And the other aspect is your life. Your life presents you with all sorts of situations, the relationships, at work, with money, with health, with you know, your house, you know, the faucet is no longer working, whatever.
Yeah.
Life presents you also with the opportunity where you can also live the contemplation, and there is a gradual as well as a sudden transformation and shift in your life.
Well, that is good that you say that, because there is this concern. I want to leave the mind behind, and yet I use the mind to read the scriptures. Yes, but then I said, no, just stop it. And then it just comes this image of this baby that keep on trying to stand up and fall, keep on trying to stand up and fall. And then eventually it walks because the baby didn't know, but with each fall and attempt to stand up, it was building muscles.
Yeah.
So I guess that's what I heard you saying. So I just have to leave behind. It's this battle of not being mental. And before I know, it's just, then I am totally mental.
Yes, that's a very
Thank you,
beautiful, beautiful metaphor, Anna. You know, the mind is not the problem. The problem is the belief that I am the mind.
Oh, wow, let me digest that. The mind is not the, thank you, Magdi, is the belief.
Yeah, the belief that I am the mind, that I am anything. Yeah, actually, you know, often in the teaching we say to be not knowing. Being not knowing means, okay, there is the mind, our thoughts, appearances, memories, whatever, sensations. That's the mind. But to remain not knowing means not to define yourself via the mind. So don't make if you make the mind a problem, then you have defined yourself as the enemy of the mind. That's a self-definition. right? And some people, they define themselves as the lover of the mind. They love the world. They love their thoughts. They love their feeling. They love their body. They define themselves as the lovers of the world, body, mind. Don't define yourself, neither as the enemy of the mind, nor as it's, just remain undefined. And don't worry about it. You don't need a self-definition, because in this very moment, there is hearing, there is perceiving without self-definition. The world, body, mind operates without the need to add on to it a separate identity.
Okay, good. So I just experience the body without just not in love with it. Oh, I feel good with this, so I go more there or less there. I just encounter whatever it's experienced at that moment.
Yes. Now, in referring to I, whenever you say I, remain not knowing. Don't assume that I is the body mind that your parents have called Anna Maria. Obviously you are not Anna Maria, because you perceive Anna Maria. You perceive Anna Maria as image. You perceive Anna Maria as bodily sensation. You perceive Anna Maria as some feelings, memories. So how can you be something you perceive? No, you are not something that you perceive, you see. So when you say I, be very, slow down. When you say I, slow down, don't hurry in saying I, because when you hurry, there is our habit of superimposing the body mind onto the I is so quick we don't notice it. So there is actually a meditation, I think maybe it was, I think it was Papaji, I think, his teacher, I forgot, one of the sages, his teacher told him, just meditate on I, just I. Just meditate on I. And he, for many years, he meditated I, what's I. It's, in the Zen Buddhism, they have the koan mu, the mu, what am I? What am I? And the reply, I think it was maybe Bodhidharma. Said,
oh, thank you very much. I'm going to watch this again when you put on YouTube. This is very, very helpful, Magdi. Thank you so much.
Okay, Maria. But I think the Sufi, they have a saying that wherever my eyes fall is the face of God. Wherever my eyes fall is the face of God. Another way of saying it, wherever my eyes fall is I. It's only one I, one reality. Yes, one reality. Any questions?
Hi, Magdi.
Hey, Richard. Hello, Richard.
I don't have a question. I just wanted to comment for anyone who finds it interesting. This happens frequently, but never quite like this. Where I'll be thinking of something that day or the night before, and then you'll speak to that just by coincidence in your satsang. But this very moment when you were talking to Anna Maria and you said that the faucet doesn't work, I was just turning on the faucet in our house. It doesn't work very well. I just touched it at that moment, and it was very surprising. So thank you for this reminder that we're all connected.
Yeah. Hola,
Hi, Marty.
hello, Maria.
Hola, Marty. I've been really enjoying the conversation with Ana Maria and you, especially when you said the mind is, it's not the problem, it's the belief that we are the mind. Yeah. Marty, I have a lot of Jewish friends, and they are right now celebrating the Jewish New Year, Rosh Hashanah, and in 10 days, Yom Kippur, which is a time, it's a time of reflection, this 10 days in between the two holidays. And there's this custom of focusing on forgiveness. So the whole theme about forgiveness have been kind of in my mind. And it just occurred to me, like, forgiveness sounds like, first of all, there's something that ought to be, and then something was done that wasn't right. And then somehow you have to forgive that something that wasn't done right. But so if we were coming from our beingness, there really isn't such a thing as forgiveness. And especially it's like forgiveness is like forgiving another person or forgiving myself. It just sounds like there's like a little split there of duality. I wanted to hear from you a little bit more about this thing about forgiveness, because I know in the Buddhist tradition, we do meditations on forgiveness. And
Yes.
oh, yeah.
Well, you know, truth is love. And in love, everything is love. There is only love. Only one truth, only one reality, which we can we call love. Love meaning non-duality, not two.
Mm-hmm.
So in God's kingdom, it's a kingdom of love. And there is no other kingdom. There isn't the kingdom of man and the kingdom of God. It's only one kingdom. So yes, from that understanding, there's only love. There are no sinners, no one who's forgiving another. It's not that way.
Mm.
Now, having said that, given that we are a work in progress, as a work in progress, we say, you know, okay, if you're experiencing yourself as being wronged by somebody else, consider that you also have wronged others.
Mm-hmm.
And if you consider that others have wronged you, consider that nobody does any wrong intentionally because they don't even choose their thoughts.
Mm.
So if you can forgive, I don't like the word forgiveness too much, you know, I rarely use it. I prefer the word understanding, to understanding. When there is understanding that nobody chooses their thoughts, then if God wants somebody to steal somebody else's car, and that idea will be implanted. The conditions will arise and the thoughts will arise for person A to steal person's B's car. And if God wills the thought, I am sorry, I regret that I stole your car, if God wills that thought and that sentiment to arise, that thought and sentiment will arise. It will not make the person who is expressing this sentiment of sorrow any better or worse, because it is not their thought. Nobody owns a thought, or nobody thinks a thought. The computer does not create the images that appear on the screen. The thoughts that appear to you are not created by you, the body-mind. They're not created by the body-mind. They are universal thoughts. They're created by God. They're created by consciousness. Like in your night dream, if you dream that you are a 12-year-old girl that is going into mama's kitchen and eating the candy from the candy jar, that thought that you want to eat the candies from the candy jar, and you actually opening the candy jar and eating the candy, you feel that they are your thoughts, and you feel that you are a 12-year-old girl until you wake up. Then you realize that no, you are not a 12-year-old girl who was thinking about the candy that is in mom's kitchen. That all these thoughts were the thoughts of the dreamer. You will also realize that the 12-year-old girl that you imagine yourself to be, that you felt yourself to be, was the creation of you, the dreamer. So in terms of forgiveness, the best path is the path of understanding. Because understanding leads to clarity, leads to order. And what more can we ask? So in the relative realm of religions and various teachers, even, I don't know, maybe some so-called non-dual teachers, even it could be that even some direct path teachers may speak this way. I don't. And the path of forgiveness and the path of feeling compassion and expressing compassion, expressing sorrow.
Mm-hmm.
The direct path is about understanding. It's a path of wisdom and the path of love, the understanding of the scriptures, of the understanding about reality. And the path of love, meaning this understanding living itself throughout your body-mind, throughout your life. Now, having said that, if you have to flip the coin between blaming and forgiving, I would say forgive.
Yeah.
But
It's more liberating.
yeah, it's easier. It's a path of less resistance, you know.
Yes.
Path of less resistance. But the path of complete freedom is the path of understanding. Who am I? What am I truly? When I'm forgiving, what do I assume myself to be? What do I assume myself to be? As soon as I assume myself to be anything, I am off track. I am off track. Even if I'm assuming myself to be like I shared earlier during the meditation, the most generous, the most kind, the most benevolent person, when the student asks the teacher of what value is all the generous actions and all the benevolence that I've done all my life, of what value is it for me to enter the gates of heaven? The teacher responded, none whatsoever, none whatsoever. So there is the direct path, and there is the less direct path. If you are at the junction, then take the direct path. The direct path is that I am the source. I am the destination. I am the seeker and the sought as one. I am the absolute subject, beyond any objects. There is one reality, and I am that reality as I and as everything. It's nothing apart from the reality of being awareness. Separation is illusion, is a false impression. There's never been anything separate in the entire universe for eternity. Live your life like a stream lives its life. And maintain your attention, your inquiry, and your love towards the source, towards reality. Treat everybody as your very self, because they are yourself. These are words, but that which, from which the words arises, is silent. So the words, they carry within them the silence of the source. You hear the words, but you also hear the silence. Well, very lovely to be with you all.
Thank you.
Thank you for your presence, your friendship, and your love for truth, Nathan, Lisa, Lone,
Thank you.
Holger,
Thanks, Maggie.
Fernand,
Bye.
Ina,
Thank you.
Marga, Grace, Karen, Richard,
Thank you, Magdi.
Frank, Anna Maria,
Thank you, Magdi.
Kelly, hello Kelly, Zoe. Thank you all. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you, Maggie.
Thank you.
Thank you, Magdi.
Bye, Maggie.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye-bye,
Bye.
everyone.
Bye.
Ayo.